Hi, I'm Chad with Take One Film and Video here in Nashville, Tennessee. Thanks for joining us back here today. Well, today we're talking tripods. We have 3 of the 500 series from Manfrotto, and we have kind of a small, medium, and large size tripods. This is the 502, this is the 504 HD, and this is the 509 HD. So let's jump in and talk about that. Now, back in 2010, we highlighted in one of our videos the 504 HD. This was one of the first tripods that came out with the bridging technology. And the bridging technology is basically a new design that Manfrotto came up with, and it's pretty obvious when you look in here. The center of the tripod head is cut out. All the inner workings are located here on the sides, and it kind of has a bridge look to it. And what that gives you is sort of several things. First of all, you get a larger platform here on top. It gives you a little more lateral stability with your camera on top. You also get a little more range on your plate. And all 3 plates, of course, have the safety lock mechanism. So you have to push this button to release to get the plate off. And once you put it in there, it goes in very simply. Once it's in, it's locked into place, and you don't have to worry about it. They all have standard bubble level here. The 504 and the 509 both have a backlit bubble, so if you're in real dark conditions, you'll be able to see it by pushing this button here, and the backlight lights up. Now, the 502 doesn't have the backlight, but it is a fluorescent bubble, and you'll be able to see it pretty well in any low light conditions. A few other similarities: they're all fluid pan tilt drag heads. So all of your pan and tilt drags are going to be fluid mechanisms with a ball bearing system in there, and it helps make that pan and tilt functions a little smoother. Another feature I like on these are the 3/4 inch accessory threads on each side of the plate. If you'll notice here, on each one of them, both on the left and the right, they have these 3/4 inch threads. The 509 actually has a little machined extension to kind of help get those threads past your knobs. But what that allows you to do is, if you had an accessory such as this articulating arm, you can put a monitor or any other type of accessory that goes along with your camera right on those threads. And it allows you to mount that hardware down on the plate. That keeps your center of gravity lower. It keeps you from having to add on top of your camera that raises the center of gravity that sometimes can help make your balance harder to get centered. So keeps it down here low and makes it really easy to add on accessories such as this. I can't tell you how many times too I've had a tripod where you have your lock mechanism and it gets in the way from the equipment that's mounted on the tripod, and you're out of range, you can't go. What these have is a ratcheting mechanism that once you're in that place, you can actually pull it and relocate the knob to an area where you can have some range of motion, where you can lock and unlock your lock mechanisms without having to worry about the interference from the equipment that's on the tripod plate. Now, those are all the similarities. Let's talk about some of the differences. Obviously, size is going to be one. Now, what's really important is when you're picking your tripod, you want to find a tripod that's going to support a little more weight than all the equipment that you're going to be using on there. So if you have a camera, monitor, you need to find out what all that weighs, and then get a tripod with a little more weight than that. You don't want to be pushing the upper limit, because once you do that, your performance of your tripod starts to drop off pretty quickly, and you start feeling the weight on the tripod. So find something that exceeds that a little bit. The 502 is the smallest, and this supports up to 15.5 pounds. The 504 HD supports up to 26.5 pounds of weight, and the big 509 over here, this one supports up to 30 pounds of weight. Now, of course, with weight, counterbalance is a big issue. Of course, counterbalance is that kind of springing resistance, or what pulls the camera back up to center. So if you have a camera and you tilt it down, it's the resistance that brings the camera back up that keeps the camera from falling all the way over. Now, both the 509 and the 504 have a 4-position selector knob here where you can preset. They have preset positions. They have an off and a 3-position counterbalance where you can select the right amount of weight that works for your camera. The 502 also has counterbalance, but it's preset. It's not a selectable knob. It's a fixed 8.8 pound counterbalance, which works with just about any DSLR or smaller camera that was kind of designed for this head. So you're going to be okay. The 504 and the 509 gives you a little bit more range in case you have some heavier or lighter items in there that you need to be a little more precise on your counterbalance. Now let's talk about one feature that's exclusive with the 509. Now this is called ABR. This is a cool feature that just came out with Manfrotto. It's called, as I mentioned, ABR, Advanced Balancing Recorder is what that stands for. And here's the scenario. You're out in the field and you're shooting, and you put your camera on, and then you have to get the camera balanced front and rear. Then you have to go relocate and get in another position. Every time you take the camera on and off, you have to take some time and make sure that you get your camera perfectly balanced. But with the ABR system, you can balance your camera and push and hold this red button, and it locks in that position, so that when you get back in to your second or positions or at a later time, you can actually recall and find out exactly where that balance is. And I'm going to show you how that works. We have our Panasonic 370 on here, and I've already preset the location. You can do that just by pushing and holding the red button for about 3 seconds. But once we have it locked in here, we'll loosen our head here. We push one time, and I've got a little red light flashing, says I need to move it forward. So we'll slide our plate forward. Oh, and I went too far, so now it's saying I've got to slide it backwards. So we're going to come back a little bit, and I'm looking for those 2 green lights right there. That tells me that I'm balanced, I'm ready to go. And of course, you can change this if your camera changes or something. You can reset this every time. But it's a great new feature that kind of helps keep your shooting, if you're out in the field, makes it quick and easy. But once again, there's a tripod that fits every size camera, fits your budget. We'll be happy to help you find out which is the right tripod for you. Just give us a call, 1-877-81-TAKE-1. You can also email us at mail@takeone.tv. Well, thanks for joining us back here today. We hope to see you back again soon.